Would you book a vacation at a gorgeous hotel with 0 reviews? Yeah, probably not. Now flip it. That's exactly how people feel when they find your business and see nothing. No proof, no trust, no sale. In today's digital world, reviews aren't just a nice to have, they're your make or break moment, the bridge between curiosity and conversation. They're the difference between someone clicking buy now or backing out. Hey friend, I'm Kibler, introvert, immigrant, ESL kid, recovering makeup artist, serial entrepreneur, and proud boy mama to the most incredible 9-year-old son. Shout out to you, Kai. And mama bear to the sweetest 4-year-old triple little girls you've ever met. I own Profit Overflow, a digital marketing agency here in Charlottesville. This is the episode where we stop chasing clients and start creating online lead flow on autopilot. Want more people saying yes to your business? It starts with your reviews. Let me walk you through the 3 simple steps to get more of them. But before we jump in, here's why reviews are such a big deal. The hidden treasure in your testimonials. Many businesses overlook the power of reviews. They think if I provide a good service, clients will naturally leave reviews. But that's not always the case. You might have a treasure trove of satisfied clients who've never shared their positive experience online. It's time to tap into that gold mine. By actively seeking out and showcasing these reviews and testimonials, you can build trust with potential clients and stand out in your industry. So today's episode is all about reviews, but let me take you back to where I learned everything I know about asking and selling the hard way. Picture this. I was in college. My parents couldn't afford to pay my tuition outright, and I sure didn't want a mountain of debt. So I got a job selling Cutco knives. Shout out to my mentor, Chris Davidson. If you're listening, hey, love you. If you know what Cutco is, or you sold knives with Vector Marketing, drop me a comment. I see you. I was hyped. Fired up. I thought, this is it. I'm gonna crush it. They trained us to start with people you know, probably because, well, you suck at first, and at least people who like you might buy something, right? But let me tell you, I was so bad, so bad. My first 17 demos, total flop, 0 sales. I cried. I panicked. I doubted myself. But on number 18, they bought 1 knife. Probably it was a pity buy, probably. But to me, it was everything. It literally took me 17 no's in a row for someone to actually say yes to me. I remember calling Chris like, I did it! Chris, I did it! They bought a knife! I was so excited. The 1 yes kept me going. I tweaked, I practiced, I improved, and eventually, I personally sold over $150,000 worth of Cutco knives. I trained new reps, I broke the record for March, and in the Cutco office in Fairfax, Virginia, they even had one of my old checks on the wall. And I even got on stage at a huge Philly conference and spoke in front of thousands of other sales reps. And terrifying as that was, as like an introvert, by the way, I almost never got on stage and I just ran away. Like, that's kind of like my thing, I just run. Funny story about running. I remember the day I gave birth to my triplets. It was like yesterday. Even though my mind was spinning, my heart was racing, and I was barely holding it together. It was the middle of the night. It was the middle of COVID in 2020. Total chaos. They were wheeling me down a hospital corridor in a wheelchair, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, masked faces all around me, and I was about to have an emergency C-section at UVA. But here's the part that broke me. Nate wasn't allowed to come with me. Not into the OR, not down the hall, nowhere. Trust me, I felt a certain way about that. I had planned to give birth in Harrisonburg. That was the plan all along. That was my safe zone, and that was my doctor. Everything was planned. And in that moment, something in me just snapped. I was so upset, so mad that I nearly told the nurse to stop the wheelchair. I wanted to get up, walk out, and drive myself to Harrisonburg, 9 months pregnant with triplets in the middle of a pandemic. Yes, it sounds crazy, but when you've got pregnancy hormones, a tidal wave of stress, and a birth plan flying out the window, logic kind of leaves the building. So looking back, I laugh, but in that moment, I was like dead serious. I was ready to run because running is kind of my thing. Of course, I didn't run, and thankfully, thank God I didn't, because the triplets were born healthy and strong at UVA. But I'll never forget how fiercely I felt that day, how much I wanted to hold on to something familiar when everything around me was spinning out of control. So yeah, running is kind of my thing. But we're all just a work in progress, right? I've been working with the Lord on the running thing. Anyhow, but I did it because I kept going. I didn't quit. I pushed through. Trust me, I'm not a genius. I was the awkward ESL kid, ESL, English as a second language kid, getting pulled out of the class while everyone stared, just trying not to die of embarrassment. And the point is this: if I can improve through trial and error, so can you. There's a gap between potential clients discovering your business and deciding to work with you. The trust gap can be bridged with authentic reviews. Get this, a recent survey this past year found that 54% of consumers now trust online reviews more than recommendations from their friends and family. Let that sink in for a second. That's not a stat. It's a massive shift of how people make decisions these days. So what does that mean for you and your business? If you're consistently collecting and showcasing real reviews, you're missing the most powerful form of social proof out there. Reviews instantly boost your credibility, boost your trust, and make it easier for potential clients to say yes. They're one of the fastest and easiest ways to build your trust without spending a dime. If you're not asking for reviews, you're invisible. No matter how great you are, your clients aren't mind readers. And guess who does leave reviews without being asked? The cranky ones. Case in point, I had an amazing plastic surgeon I was working with. She's a doctor who never asked for reviews. Her work was top-notch, but guess what happened? One unhappy patient left a nasty 1-star review, and that was all she had. One review, all negative, not fair, not true, but it was real, and it was public. It destroyed her business. She said it dropped by 30 to 50%. That is why asking every time matters, because the good ones, they drown out all the occasional bad ones. They paint the full picture of how great you are. One thing this doctor told me during our discovery call was, you spend a decade in med school learning your craft, but nobody tells you about marketing and how bad a 1-star review can destroy your practice. That really resonated with me. Her story is one of the reasons I feel called and led to help others like her, like you. You are great at your zone of genius, but may have a little blind spots in your overall business strategy. Especially when it comes to marketing. Marketing isn't optional, it's essential, and it's a comprehensive game plan to win online. And reviews play such a critical role in that. What others say about you matters. And now that everything is online, what others say about you online matters almost more than what they actually said about you in person. That's why I'm here to help you. Because if there's one thing I can attribute to my overall business success, it's this: I'm a great marketer. It's something I've actually never realized until later in my life that I was good at, because it came so easy to me. You ever heard of unconscious incompetence? Like when you're so good at something that it just comes naturally and it's hard for you to understand how it's hard for others. Because God blessed you with this gift, well, that's how marketing and lead generation is for me, and it just comes naturally and it's fun. That's why you need to ask every time. Let your happiest clients speak for you, because in today's world, people want proof. Reviews are your reputation. They're how people decide to trust you. And if they don't see proof, they move on. And look, if you're awkward about asking, join the club. Just like my Cutco journey, you might suck at first, and that's okay. You ask, you stumble, you tweak. Then you ask again and again, and then you get good. You get confident. Then you become elite. You know what else I learned from Cutco? only sell to people with the capacity to pay. Once I started to qualify my leads, my average order jumped up to over $800. Yes, back then, that was like a lot. I know that doesn't buy you much today, but that was huge back then. The biggest set that they sold back then was a homemaker set for $750 to $850. How did I have an $800 average order? I sold the bigger set that came out. It was called the Ultimate Set. That was over $2,000. And I only did demos for qualified people who had the capacity to pay me. Same with your review asks. Be intentional. Ask the clients who rave about you. Make it part of your process. This is your 3-step action plan. Number 1, make asking part of your process. Make asking for reviews a non-negotiable part of your business. Automate it if you have to. Hint, our software does this. Think of reviews like brushing your teeth. It only works if it's part of your daily routine, not some random once-a-year effort. Don't leave it to chance or your memory. Automate it. That's exactly what our Profit Overflow review software does for you. Every time you finish a job, deliver a result, or wrap up a service, it's built in. No awkwardness, no oops, no I forgot, just like clockwork. Number 2, ask when the emotion is high. Right after a win or a result, strike while they're grateful. Timing is everything. People are less likely to leave you a glowing review when they're riding the wave of happiness. It's like asking for a selfie right after a friend gets their dream haircut. They're feeling good, they're excited, they want to share. For example, if you're a wedding photographer, the best time to ask is right when the bride sees her sneak peek photos and tears up with joy. If you're a plumber, it's right after the customer flushes the toilet for the first time and says, "Thank God it works again." Strike while the gratitude is fresh. 3, remind them why it matters. Let your clients know your review isn't just about you. It helps others too. Sometimes clients don't realize how powerful their review really is, so tell them, a review isn't just a pat on the back. It's a flashlight for the next person searching in the dark. Their words help someone else say, okay, this is the business I can trust. Here's how I like to phrase it. Your review helps other amazing clients like you find us, and it helps us serving people with excellence. That way, they know they're not just helping you, they're helping others too. And people love being a part of something bigger. You've worked too hard to be the best kept secret. Let your happy clients be your megaphone. Let their words build your trust bank. Let your reviews open the door to new business on autopilot. And hey, if you're ready to stop begging for reviews and start building a real system to collect them effortlessly, link to our review software below. But here's the thing, reviews are just the beginning. Next week, we're diving into the powerhouse that turns trust into a tidal wave of demand. Because when you're seen as the go-to expert, clients don't just come to you, they line up. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how Google is starting to answer your questions before you even click a link? That's not magic. That's something called AI overviews, or AIOs for short. And they're completely changing how most people find and trust local businesses online. And guess what's helping businesses show up in those AI overviews? You got it, reviews. In the next episode, I'm breaking it all down. What AIOs are, why they matter, how reviews play a massive role in getting your business featured at the top. So if you want your business to show up where people are searching without paying for ads or fighting the algorithm, you do not want to miss episode 4. It's next level visibility, it's the future of search, and you'll be ahead of the game just by tuning in. So I'll see you there, my friend. Let's go. May you be blessed, may your business be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. I'm Kibler. Let's go.